All right, you're good.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Berry, and today I'll be presenting an informative speech on the 34th President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Eisenhower was arguably one of the greatest presidents in American history. Not only did he serve as a president, but he was also an accomplished soldier and an avid painter after his 2 terms as president. Under his presidency, the U.S. would endure national conflicts such as the Korean War, the Cold War/space race, the Red Scare, and the desegregations of schools and the military. Born in Denison, Texas, 1890, to David and Ida Eisenhower, Dwight D. Eisenhower was the 3rd of 7 brothers, according to National Archives. He was originally named David Dwight Eisenhower. However, to avoid confusion with there being 2 Davids in the family, his mother switched his first and middle name. Eisenhower graduated from West Point, where he earned his nickname Ike, and received the rank of 2nd lieutenant in 1915. As a young lieutenant in the Army, Eisenhower would find himself rising quickly through the ranks, proving himself to be a valuable asset and an effective leader. He also married his wife, Mamie, in 1916. Eisenhower would hold many leadership roles during his career in the Army. However, all fell short in comparison to his accomplishment in 1943 when he was named Supreme Commander of Allied Expeditionary Forces in Europe. He commanded the invasion of Normandy and was also promoted to the only 5-star general officer position in the history of the U.S. military, holding the title of General of the U.S. Army in 1944. He was also named the Chief of Staff for the U.S. Army in 1945, and later named Supreme Allied Commander of NATO in 1950. Oh, and did I mention he was also the president of Columbia University during this time as well. After a long and illustrious career in the Army, Eisenhower would retire in 1952. While many would find time for relaxation and rest during their retirement, Eisenhower would announce his candidacy for the Republican Party not even a full month after his retirement. Eisenhower's run for president was backed by the famous slogan, "I like Ike." And in January of 1953, he won the election in a landslide victory, maintaining his presidency until 1961. During his 2 terms as president of the U.S., Eisenhower would sign an armistice for the Korean War, give Alaska and Hawaii their statehood, help create the interstate and highway system, sign the 1957 Civil Rights Act, the first civil rights legislation since the end of the Civil War, send U.S. Army troops to enforce the federal court-ordered integration of Little Rock Central High School, desegregate the U.S. military, and sign the bill that created NASA, according to Eisenhower Presidential Library. It's safe to say that Eisenhower did not waste time in bettering America. During his time as president, the U.S. also saw some of its best economic status since the 1920s. However, all good things must come to an end, as President Eisenhower would make his famous farewell address in 1961, leading to his actual retirement, where he would pick up the most unexpected hobby of painting. After his accomplished terms serving as president of the U.S., Eisenhower would move to his farm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where he would spend his free time either golfing or painting, according to the White House Historical Association. Eisenhower picked up his hobby of painting from his friend Winston Churchill and wrote to him regarding his paintings as rather simple and a result of someone with no instruction and no talent. Nevertheless, Eisenhower seemed to thoroughly enjoy his newfound hobby. According to the White House Historical Association, the joy in painting for Eisenhower came from the skill it took to reproduce a copy of something, whether it be a photograph or a magazine of some kind. It was the challenge of reproducing a copy of something great, produced by another artist, onto his simple canvas that gave Eisenhower enjoyment. Eisenhower's preferred subject to paint were landscapes, producing a few such as winter birches and snow-capped mountains that were especially well done. In conclusion, Dwight D. Eisenhower will go down in history as one of the greatest presidents in American history. He died in 1969 from congestive heart failure, according to the Eisenhower Presidential Library. Eisenhower went beyond the call of duty, dedicating his life to the service of his country, and as a soldier, and later as a president. I hope you've enjoyed my informative speech on the life of Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Good job.